Hello everyone, this is PZZS here. I'm sorry I haven't made any videos for a while. School started back, just never felt like doing it. But I think I'm going to make this video. This is going to be kind of a review of the Belkin Cool Elevate Flow laptop cooling pad thing. Now, as you guys probably remember, my laptop is completely non-functional. Well, I mean, it was functional, but I then decided, well, basically, you probably remember it, I decided to try and overcomplicate the process of fixing a casing crack, and my computer doesn't work anymore. So, oh well. But, this school year, I don't know, I'm just like lost my train of thought there. But this year at school, our school is giving out laptops to everybody. If you want to know specifically the model, they'll be the Dell Latitude E5400, so you can go look those up. Of course, they will be a bit locked down, but, you know, that made me think of something. We're going to be using these computers pretty much the better part of the day, and we really don't have time to turn them off and turn them on whenever we need to use them. We're basically going to have them always on during the school day, so I kind of imagine they get a little bit hot. Now, I don't have the laptop yet. They haven't given them out. There's something going on with the carrying cases. We're probably going to get them halfway through the semester, which kind of sucks. But I figured while I'm waiting, I'm just going to start slowly accessorizing it, and I went ahead and bought one of these. This is the Belkin Cool Elevate Flow, and as you guys can see, this is the front of the packaging, and it has one fan. Now, Walmart, they had two of these. They had a Targus brand, and they had the Belkin brand. The Targus brand had two fans here, and it cost $30. This Belkin brand cost $29, or this Belkin product cost $20, but it only had one fan. Now here's what I am assuming. The Targus, as you know, they like to use some metal. It looked like they used a bit of metal in their product. And there are two fans, and it costs only $10 more. This is kind of a plastic material. This stuff is kind of plasticky, but there's only one fan, and I kind of assumed that if I bought this one, I'd be getting a much more durable, much more long-lasting fan than those other two that were on the Targus one. So those actually, just by looking at them, looked kind of flimsy, and this one looked like it was the better buy, so went for this one, and I'm glad I did. Anyway, let me show you guys around the packaging, and if I sound kind of weird, I do have a cold. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, this is the front of the packaging, and I really like this. You would think this is some sort of plastic insert. This is actually like painted onto the packaging, onto the inside of the packaging, so it's really cool. I thought that was. And here it is in use, and you can see it has a bit of a wave design. So I would imagine if this fan motor were to burn out, or, you know, this might actually still work as a airflow kind of thing. You know, laptops generally do ventilate out the bottom nowadays, so it'd probably still offer a bit of ventilation through there. So I think this could still be useful, even if the fan motor didn't really work. Alright, on the, that's a piece of paper, alright. Oh, let me show you this. Yep, this is that CNET said in their review. So this is obviously not Belkin saying this. This is CNET. If Belkin said this about themselves, I don't know, I probably wouldn't buy it, but Belkin, I've heard, is pretty good, so yeah. Anyway, on the left of the packaging, you just get laptop cooling pad, Belkin, their logo, and you get the same thing on this side, and you can see the wave design. That kind of attracted me. On the top, nothing, but there's a little hook. On the bottom, you get a bunch of barcodes and such. On the back, you get some details about the product. High capacity fan prevents laptop overheating by actively dissipating heat. It is USB powered. Low power consumption via laptop's USB port. No bulky power adapters required. Now, my old laptop, my Dell Inspiron 7500, which I disassembled and reassembled in that video, it only had one USB port, but that was because it was an older laptop. But if I still had that laptop, I probably would have bought this for that laptop instead of the E5400 I'm getting, because that thing was the most pathetic design ever. In fact, the fan in it was, I still have the fan. It was about that big. Maybe I'll show you a picture of it. compared to like a quarter or something. It was a very tiny fan, and that was the only means of cooling it had. It did have, I guess, some sort of a heatsink, but it was, I don't know, I just did not like the design of that cooling system. But yeah, but it is USB powered, so, but if you do have a limited amount of USB ports, you should either buy a USB hub, or I did find a sort of alternate that you can use that I'll show you here in a bit. Improves viewing comfort, raises screen height to help reduce neck strain, commonly associated with laptop use. Yes, it does do that. And it's portable. The pad collapses easily for transport and fits conveniently inside a laptop bag. Now, as soon as I read this, I thought it folded, but then I realized that that's impossible, because then you'd end up breaking the fan in half. You'll see how it collapses. Effective cooling with only a single fan. CNET Editor's Review, March 2007. Unique wave design promotes consistent airflow up and away from the laptop. You can see how that works, I guess. And there it is again from a side view. Okay, let's go ahead and open this. I have already opened this, but I just put it back in its packaging so you can kind of see what it looks like in the stores. Bought this at Walmart for $20, as I've already said. Let's go ahead and crack into it. There is some tape involved, but I've already cut that, obviously. And then you can slide the product out. Click, slide it out. And included, you get the actual product itself. And also you get some basic operating instructions, which is pretty much common sense with these explained. So, let me show you guys around the device a bit. That's the fan right there. It is a so you can kind of get an idea of what it looks like. Here it is up to some light so you can better see it. There we go. Yeah, pretty nice little fan. And yeah. Now, this thing kind of does look and feel a little bit cheap, but I mean, you know, I would assume it's not, because the fan is $20 pretty much. I would assume that, I don't know, but anyways. Yeah, it is kind of made of a very plasticky material. It feels a little bit cheap almost, but and at the same time it feels sturdy enough to where you know it's shouldn't break under standard use. You got two very tacky rubber pads. They don't feel tacky, but they are tacky. I promise you. I tested it yesterday. You get two of those to hold your laptop in place. On the side, you can see that unique wave design that they put on it. Here's the back. Now this is kind of cool. What's on the back here? You got this one rubber foot here. You got the other side of the fan, some holes. I don't know if these are actually for attachments or if those are just there. Of course, your screw holes. But this is cool. This is how it collapses. This is the foot. But underneath the foot is where you store your USB cable. So I thought that was kind of a neat idea. So let me go ahead and show you guys how this works. This here is the Latitude D610. This is my parents' laptop. I have to be pretty careful of doing this, but I know how to be careful. Alright, so let's go ahead and unplug the mouse real quick, just because we don't really need it. So allow me to show you how this thing is worked and how it is set up. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close the lid here, even though you really don't have to. It'll just make it a little bit easier for this demonstration, and it probably will help me not accidentally drop it. What you do is this. Basically, you go ahead and, well, here, what you go ahead and do is basically go ahead and open it up and pull the cable out, and you go ahead and set it down. Make sure that the foot is fairly good and out there. Then what you go ahead and do is you go ahead and set the computer right on top of it. Now we can go ahead and open it back up here. Scoot this up a little bit more. And there it is. And as you guys can see, it really... let's go ahead and close this. As you can see, it really does give it that nice little angle that they were talking about. Wireless connection is not connected. That is actually not our home network. That one is like a few miles away. I don't know why it's connected to it, but it is. But as you guys can see, it's already hooked up to it. There's the foot, and it does give it a nice angle. Makes typing feel a bit nicer and all that stuff. Now, here's the USB cable, and all you do is you just plug the USB cable into the computer. and watch. And that's it. Now, sorry. Now, you're probably noticing there's no little ding noises because there's no drivers for this. It is simply just plugged into the computer and the computer just powers it. That is all. There's no drivers for this. There's no fancy, speed control, which would be, I suppose, would be kind of nice, but this one, it just works. And if you listen, you can hear it in there. You can hear it spinning. Now I'm going to go ahead and unplug it so that way you can hear it kind of die down. This also going to hurt this. I'm going to go ahead and unplug it so you can tell that that's not the computer itself. Hear that? Plug it back in. Unplug it. So that's the way that this product works, and there isn't really any way for me to show you guys the temperature. I did in my last take attempt to use a program called Speed Fan, but it was giving me a few problems when I plugged it in. Like I accidentally unplugged the flash drive that contained the program, which caused a bit of problems to occur. So yeah, but I do tell you something, guys. When this thing is just sitting here, without this on it, it does get pretty hot. It doesn't get as hot when this thing is under. I promise you guys. There's definitely a difference. So, yeah, because it does allow these vents down here to ventilate out. And there's another vent back here, but this is the vent that pretty much vents to an actual computer. It allows it to vent out a little bit more easily. And there is a big fan under there that does allow it to vent out. And like I said before, I don't really think you have to have the USB cable plugged in to actually let it do something, because I would imagine that the vent here at the bottom can still vent out pretty easily, and can vent out much more easily, and there's a lot more airflow under here. So just by the design itself, I really don't think you need the fan to actually be on. You can just unplug it. But the fan definitely does help, and it does make a difference. So when you're done with it, you just go ahead and we'll go ahead and close the laptop again. Let's go ahead. I don't know, it makes that noise for some reason. You close it, take it out, and you go ahead, you fold it over, or flip it over, and to store it, you go ahead and just put this underneath it, right there, and you go ahead and stick the USB plug into this little thing that they use to, that they put in there to keep it in place. It doesn't work too good, but it worked good enough. And then you go ahead, close her up, and push. And that's that. Now, as I said before, or as I think I said, because part of this video was take 1, and the video I'm shooting right now is take 2, but I didn't want to have to put it back in its packaging, so that was from the first take. But what if you are running short of USB cables, yet you do want to take advantage of that fan in the middle?